Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavati Tamastu Ma Vidvishavai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Bhadram Karnere Shrunuyama Bhadram Pashyemakshaviryatraha Sthirairangai Stushtuvagusastanubhi Yashema Devahitam Yadayu Swasti na Indro Vriddhashravaha Swasti nः Pusha Vishvavedaha Swasti nastarक्ष्यो Arishtaniः Swasti no Brihaspatirdadatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Atashvalayano Bhagavantam Parameshtinamupsametyo vacha Adhihi Bhagavan Brahmavidyam Varishtham Sada Sadbhis Sevyamanam Nigodham Yaya Chirat Sarva Papam Vyapohya Parat Param Purusham Yati Vidvan. Mantra number 23. Anoraniyan ahameva tadvat Mahanaham Vishwamaham Vichitram Puratanogam Purushoganishaha Hiranmayogam Shivarupamasmi. Anoho Aniyan Aham. I, Brahmatma, the intrinsic nature of me, the Brahmatma, which is Sakshi, Chinmatra, and Sadashiva, that was said earlier, that I, the Atma, is Anoho Aniyan, smaller than the small. Tadvat, at the same time, yet Mahan Aham, I am great, I am vast, I am limitless, bigger than the big. So therefore, smaller than the small, bigger than the big really means that there is no size, there is no limitation for me. I am Ananta Rupa. No dimension, no length, breadth, weight, color, etc. For me, I am free from all of them. And not only that, I inhere as the very existence of all that is there in this world. Vishwam Aham. I am verily the Vishwam. I manifest as the Vishwam. And I lend being, existence to every being in this world. Be it small, be it big, be it in the present, be it in the past, right? Whatever it is there in the past, present and future, I am the one who lend existence to all that. And I am the one who brings the connection between two entities, right? When two things are connected, I am the one who makes the connection possible. Suppose when I meet with you, the meeting is made possible because of Ishvara, Brahmatma, and that I am. And then there is continuity, the continuity between the previous and the present, right? And the present and the future. That continuity I am. I provide the continuity. Vishwam Aham. Now here, there is a question here. If you are the Vishwam, if you are everything, and then what should happen then? Then everything is you, everything is Brahmatma, then there should be no difference whatsoever, because everything is Brahmatma. Then there should not be any difference in the world. But we do see that there is difference among things. Okay, one is big, one is small, and one is valued and one is less valued or not valued. There is difference. There is sentiency, there is a living being, and there is an inert object. And even among the living beings there is the gradation, taratamya is there. Such differences should not be there if everything is you, if you are everything. Because everything is you, and you are one Swarupa, you are Satchidananda Swarupa, and therefore everything should be Satchidananda Swarupa. That should not be this Nama Rupa. This is the question here. The Tikakara said that in the commentary, second line, Asya Jagataha Tattvat Bheda Rahitye. Tattvat Bheda Rahitye. I read it wrongly yesterday. Asya Jagataha, for this world, there is this Bheda Rahityam. There is no difference from the Tattvat, from the Tattva, which is Brahmatma. There is Bheda Rahityam. There is no Bheda. That is, the world is Ishvara when you say. Then Swasmat api Abhedaha Syat. Swasmat, for the object in the world, there should be no difference with any other object. For an object in the world, there should be no difference with other objects at all. That is to say, the world objects in the world should be identical, should be the same. But that is not the case. So he says here, Swasmadapi, among themselves also, there should be Abhedaha Syat. Iti, this is the question. Ataha aha. For that there's answer. No, there is Vichitram. Vishwam Vichitram. Vichitram means Vividham, variegated. Many manifoldness is there in this world. Big and small, right? Great and small, that's all there. Swayam Ananta Bhedavat. There are infinite number of variety. It is said that only in terms of Vastu there is Abheda. It's not said that there is Abheda in terms of Nama Rupa. Right? It is never said, nowhere it is said. In terms of Nama Rupa there is Abheda, it is not said at all. Okay? Nama Rupa is Vichitra, that is Veda. There is Veda in terms of Nama Rupa. Otherwise, why the Nama? What is the need for Nama at all, right? If there is no Veda, what is the need for Nama? If everything is a part, we don't need the word at all. Part we don't need at all. If everything is stable, then we don't need the word, because everything is stable after all. Why? We need words only to distinguish one object from another. We have names only to distinguish one from the another for Vyavahara sake. Therefore, if there is Nama Rupataha also Abheda, then what you say may be true, but then there is Nama Rupataha, there is distinction, there is difference. That's what I said. Swayam Ananta Bhedavat. This Prapancha has infinite variation, division is there. In fact, no two objects are the same in this creation. No two objects, right? Even two atoms enjoy a distinct entity. It's a distinct entity. Entityhood they enjoy. It's a distinct entity from every other atom. Remember the Sankya's contention, okay? But then that distinction is due to the Upadhi, not in terms of the Swarupa, right? One part is different from the other, not in terms of clay, the content, but only in terms of the name and form and utility. That's all. Therefore, Namarupataha, this is Vaichitram is there, Vaichitriam is there, that is pointed out. So there is no this contention of everything should be the same is not there. There is Jagat is Vaichitram. Also it is we see this. We see the Vaichitriam in this Prapancha. That cannot be negated. There is no Vaichitryam. But then the Vaichitryam does not constitute duality. That is the point here. So the Swarupa, the content is one, Satchidananda Atma. Namarupa is many. That is the point. Okay. Then Puratana, etc. It is said, I am Chirantanaha. I am the everlasting one. I am young. I am ever young. Okay. I am like Dakshinamurti. I am ever young. That is to say, I am Nityam. There is no change in me whatsoever brought about by Desha, Kala, or any event. By association, I don't disintegrate. I don't become anything else. In fact, there is no association for me. Paramarthataha, I have no sangha with anything. I am like Akasha. So Akasha is all pervasive. Akasha sustains everything. Everything exists in Akasha. Yet Akasha is untouched, unaffected, undivided by any entity existing in it. I am like Akasha. I am Chirantanaha. Desha, Kala, etc. do not limit me, do not affect me. So the commentator Vakhyata said, brought in the example here, Adhunika, Sarpa, Dhara, Balivardha, Mutritatvadi, Abhinna, Chirantani, Rajjuhu iva aham Rajjustaniyaha, Natu Sarpa Staniyaha. In the example, comparing the example, I am not like the Sarpa, I am not like the serpent, I am like the rope. The rope is Chirantani, whereas the Sarpa, etc., they are Adhunika. Therefore, I am not a Johnny come late. That is I am not a new phenomenon. I am not a changing phenomenon. Mind is changing. Our ideas are changing. Our beliefs are changing. Our notions about ourselves, about the world, they are changing. Even our ego changes, keeps on changing, and fluctuation, changes are there. But I, the Sakshi, I am Chirantana, the unaffected, Nitya Vastu, I am. Okay, further. Purushaha, Paripurnaha, Vastutaha, Aham. Vastutaha, in reality, in terms of absolute reality, I am Purushaha, I am Paripurna, I am the ever full, ever satisfied, ever Tripta, ever Santushta, ever satisfied Atma, ever free Atma, Paripurna, I am ever free. There is no bondage in me. The bondage is Kalpita due to ignorance only. Avidyaya Kalpitaha, Bandhaha. Bandhaha is not Vastavika. It's just a notion born of ignorance. Whereas in reality, I am Paripurna, I am ever free, I am ever full. Vastutaha in reality. And all this Vichitram, Jagat Vichitram, etc. is Kalpita in me. Swakalpita it is. And a Kalpita entity does not affect the real entity. Like the Maru Marichika, okay, the mirage water is imagined, is seen to be there. But that water cannot wet the surface, the ground at all. Right? You cannot drink from the Maru Marichika, cannot take a bath. It's only for perception. It is there. It looks as if it is there, but then it cannot even wet the ground where it is seen. So, like that, the Namarupa are like the Maru Marichika. Perceptibly it is there, and some of them, quite a number of them, are Vyavaharataha. In terms of transaction, it is there, right? Perception, for appearance, it is there. As an appearance, it is there, like the Maru Marichika, like the table, etc. The Vyavaharataha, it is there, but then that does not count as Paramarthika. Remember, Vyavahara does not mean reality, right? Transaction does not mean reality. Just because I see, just because I interact, just because I use, does not make something an absolute reality. Reality is a different question. Usefulness, transaction is altogether a different question. Mixing the question is a problem. Taking usefulness to mean reality is a problem. So Vedanta, the Shastra points out, Okay? Vyavaharika is Vyavaharika. Who says pot is not useful? Pot is useful. Table is useful. But in spite of usefulness, there is no table. There is only wood. That's the point. Okay? Therefore, Vyavahara, usefulness does not mean reality. They are different questions altogether. We have seen that reality, Satyatva is only Abhaditam Satyam. That's the only Abhaditam Satyam. What is never sublated, known, when known, this is the Swarupa of it, and that cognition, that understanding never undergoes a negation at any point of time later. That is the Abhaditam, and that alone is the criterion for Satyam. Whereas Vyavahara undergoes change. There is a lot of subjectivity also in the Vyavahara. It's not only objective, there is a lot of subjectivity also, right? Value, for example, the value we give to an object, it is purely subjective really. Subject in the sense that, no, we agree that this will be the cost of this is the price of it, this is the value of it. A diamond is worth some crore rupees, some $1 million. Who fixes the value? Who fixes the value for this diamond? It's us, that's all. Diamond per se, we cannot fix any value to it. It's amulya in a way, and then all the values are artificial. All prices are artificial. All prices, all costs are artificial only. All man-made. We make it for our own transaction sake, for our convenience sake, right? For ease of transactions, right? We fix some value to it, and then we give some subjective value to that also. My grandfather's clock, okay? So it's not just 1,000 rupees, you see, it is 1,00,000 rupees. Subjective value also is there. So that does not mean it is real. Reality is altogether different question. Usefulness, etc. is altogether a different question. Therefore, here I am Vastutaha, I am Paripurnaha. In reality, I am Paripurnaha. That the changes that occur, seemingly occur in me, that is in the body and the mind, do not affect me. My Purnatva, they do not affect. It seems to affect me only when I identify with my body and my mind and my notions, that's all. I have a notion about something, then it seems to affect me. I am influenced by my own ideas, by my own notions, right? So, when I identify with my mind, with my ahankara, with my body, then I take whatever belongs to the body, I take to belong to myself. That is the affectation. If I am the mind, then whatever the mind is, I am that. That is affectation. If ahankara is me, that is the truth of me, then whatever ahankara undergoes, hurt, etc., I am that, I am hurt, etc. Therefore, the hurt, etc., the effect on oneself is purely due to the identification, tadatmyam, not because of the Swarupa. When I look at the Swarupa, I am the Sakshi, Chinmatraha, Sadashivaha, Ananda Swarupaha, I am Paripurnaha. That is being repeatedly pointed out by the Shastra. The mind, it's used to thinking about oneself, otherwise taking oneself to be a shariri, embodied being, right? As good as the body and the mind and the notions, and therefore the mind falls back, keeps on falling back to its what it is used to, right? It's used to that trodden path, the beaten path it is for the mind, and therefore it keeps falling to its old notions, old ideas. It's very difficult to give up a certain idea because the mind is so much used to it, and mind the person has a value to that one's own ideas, so it is difficult for one to change. But is it that the idea is formed after a thorough analysis, after looking into what one is seeking? Not necessarily, not always. Just without looking into it thoroughly, we just own opinions and ideas. Avichara siddha it is. That I am a body, who told you so? That I am the mind, who told me that? Nobody tells me. I just form an idea that I am the ahankara, I am the mind. It's all avichara siddham it is, right? Whereas, on the other hand, when we look into what I am, what the body is, and what is the relation between me and my mind, then we see that is aham paripurnaha, vastutaha, I am paripurnaha, I am the sakshi, I am the chinmatra, I am the sakshi matra, and these are the upadhis, and the changes that happen in the upadhi belong to the upadhi, right? given to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, they say. So this belongs to Caesar. No, let it belong to Caesar only, the Roman emperor. So I do not claim what belongs to Caesar, then there is trouble. Caesar's property, if I claim it is mine, then I am in trouble. Caesar, I will incur the wrath of Caesar's anger. So to here, give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. What belongs to the mind, let it belong to the mind alone. It does not belong to me. That is an error to assume what belongs to the mind to belong to oneself, what belongs to the body to belong to oneself. It's an error, it's a mistake in ignorance. Therefore, that is pointed out here. Purushaha, Vastutaha, I am Paripurnaha, I am the ever free Chaitanya Swarupaha, Aham. And further, Avidya Dashayam, Ishaha, Niyantaha. Further, I am the Ishaha. It is said in the mantra, Aham Ishaha. Puratanoham Purushoham Ishaha. I am the Niyanta, the ruler. The one who, the Lord, I am the Lord, Niyanta. Now a question comes, is not the rulership, is it not Vyavaharika? The rulership. Ruler has to rule. Ruling means ruling through an order, an action, right? Through someone, through an agency, the ruling has to take place. Either I rule myself or through someone I rule, through my orders, through my actions I rule. So that means there is a change. But is it not I am changeless? Is it not that I am changeless? If I am changeless, how can I be Ishaha? Therefore, Vyakhana Karta, the commentator says, Avidya Dashayam. From the standpoint of this Upadhi, Sarvajna Upadhi, I am the creator, I am the sustainer, I am the ruler, I am the Lord. That's all Avidya Dashayam. Avidya Dashayam is not to be taken as in ignorance here. Not in ignorance, but from the standpoint of Avidya, which is Upadhi. From the standpoint of Upadhi, I am Ishaha, I am the Lord of all. Which Upadhi? Maya Upadhi. Through the Maya Upadhi, I am the Ishaha, the Lord. We have to understand the Ishvaratvam is assigned to Brahma the Vastu, with the Upadhi alone. Right? It's not that the Upadhi is owned by Ishvara, the Upadhi is sticking to Ishvara. It is not. We look at the Vastu through the world, through the Namarupa, through the Upadhi. That Vastu is called Ishvara. That's all. We see the Vastu as Ishvara seen through the Upadhi. Like even suppose I am an actor and I take on the role of a king. Right? One fellow may call me, hey actor, good morning. Another fellow may call, oh king, good morning. Right? One fellow calls me an actor, another fellow calls me the king. The actor, the fellow who calls me actor looks at me as an individual. The fellow who calls me as the king looks me through the role that I play in an act, in a drama. I am wearing the king's costume. Then the fellow calls me king. Seen through the Upadhi of that costume, I am called the king. But then Vastutaha, I am the actor, I am the individual who is ever free from the role that I am playing. But then the fellow who calls me king is not confused that he looks at me through the role, through the costume, and then he calls me king. That's all. Which is valid. Seen through the costume, it is valid address. But then that does not make me and another entity a different entity. So Brahma and Ishvara are not, underline, are not distinct entities. Okay? There is no confusion when Shastra uses these two words interchangeably. Shastra freely uses these two words interchangeably. Sometimes it uses Brahma to mean Ishvara. It says Brahma is the Jagat Karanam. Hey, how can Brahma be Jagat Karanam? Brahman is Nirgunam, Nirvikari. How can be the Jagat Karanam? So it means Ishvara. With the Maya Upadhi, it means. And in some places, Ishvara is the truth of everything, it says. Hey, Ishvara means sopadika, it is along with the Maya Upadi. Again, that is Upadi. How can that Ishvaratvam be Paramarthika? That is not the intention, that is not the Vivaksha there. So Shastra uses these two words interchangeably in many places. Shankaracharya also in his Vyakhyana, in his Bhashya, uses these two words interchangeably in many places. It's not that Shankara does not know the difference between Ishvara and Brahman, is confused what is Ishvara and what is Brahman. It is not so. It is not so. It's not that Shastra is confused or Shastra is confusing. It is very clear, seen through the Upadi, that very same Vastu, Brahma, is addressed Ishvara. That is all. It's not that they are two different entities. It is not. Okay. One commentator, one translator of this Brahma Sutra Bhashyam, one German, okay, famous scholar, he says Shankara is confused. He says Shankara is confused because he uses the word Ishvara to mean Brahman. Okay. He says Jiva Ishvara Aikyam. How can there be Jiva Ishvara Aikyam? There is only Jiva Brahma Aikyam. And someone says, no, there cannot be Jiva Brahma Aikyam. There can be only Atma and Brahma Aikyam only. We are not confused. We know what we mean. We know what we mean, but we are not confused. So, he says Shankara is confused. Shankara is not confused. Shankara is very, very clear what he means by that. You take a different meaning for the word and then you say other is confused. Say you call a horse and then I say horse means cow. Right? I take horse means cow and then say you are confused. You are calling a cow a horse. You are calling a horse a cow. I am saying you are not confused. I mistake you. I don't understand what you mean. That's what they mean. So Brahma and Ishvara, they refer to the one and the same entity. Seen with the Upadi, through the Upadi, with the Upadi, it's called the very same Vastu is called Ishvara. And minus the Upadi in terms of our understanding, the same Vastu is called Brahma Atma. For Ishaha, I am Ishaha, with the Maya Upadi, seen through the Upadi of Maya, I am the Ishaha, I am the Lord. And how do I rule? By my mere presence. By my mere presence, I, the Atma, in the Ishvara, rule. So Ishvara is not holding a scepter, no? The scepter, Vajrayuda in his hand, a scepter in his hand, a sword in his hand, and then ruling. Danda. The king's scepter, no? The danda. The mark of authority, the seal of authority. So the king rules through the authority, but then Ishvara is the Lord, not through any authority, but through the dharma, through the niyatis. Therefore it is a niyanta. It is a very meaningful word. Niyanta. I am the ordainer who set about the laws, the niyati that operate in this universe. The whole universe is governed by laws, various laws. We know physical laws and then the laws which apply to the physical entities, big and small. And then there are variety of laws. There are laws which apply to the behavior. There are laws which apply to the physiology. Variety of laws are there. So they are all called dharma. All put together is called dharma. Right? It's not just merely what I should do, what I should not do. Right? Do's and don'ts is only a part of dharma. But then dharma is all inclusive. Ishvara is the dharma is the vibhuti, is the shakti of Ishvara. Through dharma, Ishvara is the Lord. That's all. So the law that operates, law of gravity. I drop an object, it falls. That is Ishvara. That law of gravitation is Ishvara. It is Ishvara's dharma. Ishvara operates, regulates, lords the universe through this law of gravity and every other law. Therefore, no law is separate from Ishvara. It's all part of this giant, this vast dharma. And it is Ishvara's vibhuti. Dharma is Ishvara's vibhuti. All laws are Ishvara vibhuti only. So through the laws, through the niyati, Ishvara governs I am the Lord of this entire universe. Right? Read about atoms in the science, school science, we read about that. Even though we don't understand it fully, some vague idea we get. There's an electron, there's a proton, I have not seen electron proton with my eyes. Scientists say that, okay, I believe in scientists, what they say, I believe. Then they say, it's going on. Right? Why should it go on? We don't know. And if anything keeps on moving, it must lose its energy. Right? But then the electron keeps on going around the nucleus, right? Without losing its energy. How? I don't know. It's happening. Right? It's happening. It must lose its energy. I run. And then after some time I lose the energy. Unless I keep eating, adding energy. Unless I eat, and then I run out of my energy. So electron should run out of its energy after some time. No, it does not. Going on. How long? For eternity has been going around the nucleus. For eternity. See, our body, our body is nothing but electron, neutron, proton. Our bodies are. Right? We call it cell, hand, finger, and then the skin, beauty, hair, and all. We call in our own parlance. In a sense, it's all electrons and neutrons and protons. What is the difference between this electron and the other electron? They are identical, but then this electron constitutes the part of a cell, and this becomes the skin cell, that becomes the brain cell, that becomes the bone marrow, that becomes the blood cell. Amazing. And what governs all this functioning? Why is a electron held to its nucleus? That is a law operating in it, right? I may not understand it fully, but it is there, right? So that is the known and unknown, understood or not understood. Certain things we understand, certain things we don't understand, we don't know. But then it is there, okay? It is there. That is all niyati. That is all dharma. It's not only what we know is dharma, what we don't understand, what we know also, what we don't know also is also part of this giant, infinite, vast, unfailing order. So Swamiji points out, if you want to appreciate Ishvara, appreciate this way, the infallible order, a sutra like a phrase. Infallible order is Ishvara. No, the infallible is Ishvara. It's a transposing, changing this one. We think that Ishvara is infallible. That is, we form our own ideas about Ishvara, and then Ishvara, when I pray, it must give. Playar, Ganesha, I want to the first rank, I want to get the top post. Then I'll break 2 coconuts. And I break 2 coconuts, top post should come to me. No, it does not come to me. That means Ishvara is not infallible, Ishvara is fallible. If Ishvara is infallible, I asked for the top rank, it did not come. That means Ishvara is fallible, Ishvara fails. Right? So that is our own interpretation, our own understanding of what Ishvara is. So Ishvara is infallible is not a correct understanding of what is Ishvara. I must first understand what is infallible. Instead of trying to fix the infallible meaning to Ishvara, I must understand what is fallible, what is infallible, I must understand first. And that infallible is Ishvara. Right? It's a totally a different, a more comprehensive, a more correct way of looking at things at Ishvara. Understand what is infallible, and then that infallible is Ishvara. Don't say that Ishvara, you form a concept, idea about Ishvara, and then impute infallibility, that is your own expectation on Ishvara, and then it doesn't meet, means then Ishvara is fallible, there is no God, there is no God is fallible, etc. That's a misconception about what Ishvara is. Therefore, what understand, dharma is infallible, the law, the order is infallible. Okay? There may be something in that order which I know, which I don't know. There may be something which I like, which I don't like, which is useful, which is not useful for me. But nevertheless, it is part of this grand order, the all-encompassing order. It is in the form of the order that it is wise to appreciate Ishvara. Appreciate the order, and then you really start appreciating Ishvara. Therefore, very beautifully the commentator says, Niyanta I am in the form of the Niyati. Through the Niyatis I govern the world. The karma and the karma phalam is there. It's again a grand Niyati it is. So, we are governed by, the jivas are governed by karma and karma phalam. Right? We can't deny Just because I don't believe or I don't know, it does not mean that the karma phala, adrishta, etc. is not there. It is there, very much there. It is wise for me to appreciate it. So, it is better that I appreciate what is there. For through karma and karma phala, the jivas are governed. Okay? Our actions, our propensities, our likes, right? All that are governed. They have the karma niyati, the karma order has its grand, it's grand in its compass. So it encompasses the jivas thinking, doing, etc. It influences. Okay, so Ishaha Niyanta, the Niyati Rupena, I am the Lord of this entire universe. Now, how do you become the Niyanta? With what you become the Niyanta? That is said in the following adjectives, descriptions. Niyantritve Samarthyam Aha. To be the Niyanta, to be the Lord, you need some samarthyam, some capacity, some power. Samarthyam, what is it that? He says, Hiranmayaha, Jnana Prachuraha, Tat Pradhanaha va, Adityasthaha, Sarva Karya Karanat, Sarva Karya Karana Atma Aham Yakyatam. I am Hiranmaya. I am the golden entity, the effulgent entity. What is this effulgence? Hiranmaya. He says, Jnana Prachuraha. Filled with Jnana, the knowledge. I have all knowledge. Remember, not me the individual, but me the Isha, me the Atma. I have the Sarvajna Upadhi. The Upadhi of Sarvajnatva is there. The omnipotence, omniscience, omnipresence, that is the Upadhi, Ishvara Upadhi. I am Jnana Prachuraha. I have the Sarvajnatva Upadhi. Through the Sarvajnatva Upadhi, I am the Ishaha, the Niyanta. Jnana Prachuraha, Tat Pradhanaha va. Right? I am the predominant aspect in me is Jnanam. That means Jnanam. Jnanam is the Pradhana aspect in me. The consciousness, the Chaitanya is the my Swarupa, that is the Tat Pradhanaha va. Or Adityasthaha, obtaining in the sun. It is presented. Where do you appreciate Ishvaran? This Aditya. Again, Aditya is a pratika. Okay. Sun, what we see in the sky is a pratika. Like we have the Ganesha form. Remember, a frame encompassing all frames. All frames in one frame is the idol that we have in the temple. And various different forms. Again all frames in one frame, right? So, again, Surya is again one pratika for Virat. For Virat and for Ishvara. When people do in the morning and evening, no, Sandhya Vandanam they say, Asau Aditya Brahma. They say, every day they say, Asau Adityo Brahma. This Aditya is verily Ishvara. This Aditya, the sun is verily Ishvara, Brahma. And Brahmaivahamasmi. Every day they say this. Asav Adityo Brahma, Brahmaivahamasmi. And that I am verily that Brahman. So, the effulgent, the most brilliant object that we see from earth is the sun. And that only sun and that only gives us the warmth, the light, the energy that we need. The other day we saw, during daytime, all that we see is only sunlight. I see only sunlight, not tree. It's only sunlight I see, not a cow. What I see is light, and light is sunlight. I see you standing there outside. I see only sunlight. You, the Upadhi, you, the body, reflect the sunlight. That's all. The cow reflects sunlight. The tree reflects sunlight. So all that I see is only sunlight. Right? Of course, for sake of simplicity, and then I see the tree, I see the cow. For Vyavahara sake, I say it is true. The form I see because it's bathed in the light. But what I see, the light I see is only sunlight only. So the light and then the nourisher, right? One who brings in the heat, one who brings in the rain, one who brings in the necessary chillness, all that's all the sun. Right? The climate, the weather in the world is driven by the sun's energy only. We all know that, right? And science also knows, very clearly teaches it's all sun's energy that drives all the climate, etc. The weather, that is what driven by sun's energy alone. All the crops grow, right? That's all sun's energy. And then the ocean waves, it's there. It's all again the Vayu movement of the winds, the wind movement is again sun's energy again, it's all. So I am the Adityastaha. Like even the sun is the everything for us, for all the Jiva Rashi. So too I am Adityastaha. I am obtaining in the sun. Hiranmaya, I am the golden, the effulgent God, I am. That he says, Sarva Karya Karana Atma Aham. I am in the form of every Karya and Karana, body and senses, body and mind, and I am in the form of all cause and effect. Sarva Karya Karana Atma Aham Hiranmaya. I am the Sarvajna, I am the omniscient, I am the Sarva Shakti, I am the omnipotent, and I am the Sarva Vyapi, I am the omnipresent, that I am. All through merely my presence. In my presence, everything gets done. Like in the presence of Surya, we get up, people get up and then go about doing our things and then seeing things, relating to things, interacting with them, right? And then giving expression to our own ideas, desires, and then trying to fulfill. All that happens in the light of sun. Right? In the presence of sunlight, the world is up and then active. So too, in my presence, everything, the ruling, the governing, the lording takes place. Otherwise, we all want to be free, Nobody wants to be ruled. Nobody wants to be disciplined. Nobody wants to be told. Also, nobody wants to be told. I say, Karo. No. Why should you tell me? Who are you to tell me? You should not do this. No. Do mind your own job. Okay? Nobody wants to be told. We want to be free. No. If Ishvara were to say, do this, do that, no, we will revolt. We will revolt. Who are you to tell that? Why should we do that? Here, not through the physical action, but it is just mere presence. So the Shruti says, Ishanivihi Ishate. Ishyam. What is ruled over? What is lauded? The Lord, Ishvara, rules over Ishanivihi through the order, through the laws, through the order, through the niyatis, by mere presence. That is Ishvara. By mere presence means everything happens in the Sannidhi, in the presence of Ishvara, not affecting Ishvara in any way, the Swarupa in any way. Right? Further, Shiva Rupam, Mangala Swarupam, Brahma Asmi, Bhavami. I am the ever auspicious one. I am the Shiva Rupam. Mangala Swarupam. I am the very embodiment of auspiciousness. What is really good? What is lasting good? What is really good? To be the Atma is the highest good. To appreciate one's true nature is the highest good for oneself. There is nothing better than that. Right? So I am that. I am the Atma. I am the Atma Swarupa. And I manifest as any Vyavaharika Mangala also. It is only me. So as Krishna says, whatever form people worship me, in whatever form they worship me, worship Ishvara, they worship only me. And I only give the result of all their actions and worship and prayers. I only give the result. So I am the Mangala Swarupam. Even the Vyavaharika Mangala, that's like health, etc., that's also Ishvara only. That's only I am that Mangala Swarupam. And I am not touched by any of this Amangala. Right? I may be surrounded by Namarupa, right? Limitations, surrounded by limited beings, limited Kalpita entities, but I am really untouched by that. The water drop is untouched by the dropness. Okay, the size of the drop. No, how much it will be? Less than a milli. What is that? Less than a cc, cubic cent. 0.05 is the average. 0.05 cc. That's the average size of a water drop. Water is not touched by the size. How much weight it will be, whatever it is. Water remains water. Sunlight reflects, the Manisha Panchakam introduction says, sunlight reflects on pure water and sunlight reflects in muddy water. Does it become impure just because it reflects, it falls on muddy water? Or it is glorified, becomes sanctified just because on Ganga or any other holy water? Neither sanctified nor that muddied, sullied by where it falls. It remains sunlight. It shines sunlight. So too, I am unaffected. I remain ever auspicious. Mangala Swarupam Brahmasmi Bhavami. Okay. We'll continue at 11:30. We'll continue. Om Bhadram Karni Vishrunuyama Deva Bhadram Pashyed Vijatraha Sthirairam Devi Stushtavam Tanubihi Yashena Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vriddhashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishvaveda Swasti nastarksho arishtanihi Swasti no brihaspati dadatu Om Shanti 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 Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Nameva Sishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Hari Om